Cannons there, sticking out to protect. Kind of interesting. And then we move right across. Maria, Nick, wave, Maria. Wave, Nicholas. Nicholas doesn't seem like he's very excited about this trip. Wave, Nick. Hi, Nick. That's a smirk like I really don't care about anything. Well, let's move on to the fort. There behind it, a nice wide river behind Maria. See that little dark spot out there? We've been trying to figure out what that is. We haven't quite figured out what the heck that thing is. See if we can see it a little bit better. Just a nice big dark spot out there. Anyways, this is the river and the mountains around Fort San Lorenzo. We pan over to the right-hand side. We can see it opening up into the ocean. Out past the fort is the ocean. We'll go up to the fort and take a look around. Okay, well, we're up here at the fort, at the beginning of the fort. As you can see, the cliff there is pretty steep as it goes down into the water. This is the way that the fort is surrounded by 3/4 of the fort. We just saw the opening portion, but it's a pretty steep cliff here. I guess you get the hint of how deep the cliff is. Now let's take a panoramic view of what the area looks like. There's a nice little cove around here. Everything's real nice. The shoreline is pretty. You can see where there's remnants of some old, looks like a bohio or something that maybe, whoops, that maybe people stay at. Bohios are kind of interesting out there because you go along the shoreline and sure enough there's another one out kind of more in the water there. Pan across the area here. Come over here on that distant shore there is a American military installation of some sort. Rumor has it that's where the Navy SEALs practice. There are Navy SEAL boats right there. Coming right out, there's the river coming from the interior of Panama. Come on across into the shoreline there and pan on out into the wide
You figured there's people over there too?
ocean. Huh?
Right over there? There's the car and everything else?
Where?
To your right. Go to your right. Right.
That's the ocean there. That would be the Caribbean, right? The Caribbean Sea. And come across, look like there's some people over there Maria found. And a pretty shoreline. So that's what we see from up here at Fort San Lorenzo. This is the entrance to the fort here. Like I said, this is the entrance to the fort. As we come up the walls. The walls are real steep in this fort for some reason. It's the same way as it is in Portobello. And there's a side wall there. As you can see, the side wall faces right off the cliff into the ocean. So they're pretty well protected up here. Typical alleyway that's found all over this fort for some reason. All the walls are like this. And the inside wall, which would be here, is the interior of the fort. And this is the outside, almost like a moat in the Old English areas. As you can see, the Panamanian government is trying to do a little work on this fort. So this is very typical. Let's move on. Here's some really old ladders from the ancient days. Look at those ladders. Oh, don't those look like our modern day ladders? This is an entranceway and some sort of a bridgeway that goes right into the upper portion of the fort. Of course, I don't think the handrails were there in the olden days. They've been there for our protection. We can see there in the background where Maria is. Wait, Maria. Nick sneezed. There's some little dungeons and things. Sorry about that jerk there. I just hear something moving in the grass, and here in Panama, you can never tell. It's just more of the interesting system that they have here. Notice here, as we're focusing in here, that's that entranceway that we saw back there. Now that's coming out here, and this is all around the perimeter of the base. As you notice there, there's a guard tower up on top, and the top wall. more shooting areas, things of that nature, more of those modern things. Say hello, Maria.
Hi.
And that right back there is, what's back there, hon? Some sort of a holding cell or something. I don't really know what's in there. But we're a little scared to go in there, so just have to leave it at that. We're going to go on up and get a view of the top of the fort. There we have a little nicer view of the top of the fort. We're at the top level. There's that guardhouse right there. Notice the vultures up on top. Interesting. Then we pan back around and notice the cannons guarding the perimeter. That was that entranceway we just came in right there. And then here's more of the fort. This is on the upper level. And an archway. Nicholas! Nick! Where's hi? There's Nick. Such a lovely little boy.
Nicholas.
Interesting. We're inside of the dome-looking area here. And the construction is interesting, but these holes are what are really fascinating. Come into here, you can see a little light in there. It looks as though almost as like they would stick their weapons through the holes and shoot at people. Let's take a look at another one. Another hole right there. And it goes through. This wall is very thick. I would say the wall. Let's pan around to the thickness of the wall. You can see it's all made out of stone and concrete. And there's the thickness of the wall right there. Yeah, right there. She's conquered Fort San Lorenzo. What a nerd. What this is, it almost looks like a helipad. Of course, we know that there wouldn't be any helicopters back in the day at Fort San Lorenzo. Well, this is the main area, I guess, of the fort. This right here is quite interesting. More little holes and areas for people to be. And then the fort wall. That right there is a sloping, like a huge driveway, as though maybe they put big cannons up here or something. This appears to be some sort of government quarters. Don't really know what that building is. More of the interior of the base. As you can see on the upper edges, you still have all the portholes for the cannons and things of that nature. And it comes back across and all the way over to the other side. An interesting look at the courtyard here. Appears as though some building, and then we still have these little rooms that are built into the side of the base. Now here's something that's really interesting. This is a water hole. I don't know if you can actually see the water. There it is, inside. This is located close to the edge of the wall where we're at right now. Some sort of a watering area. No idea what it's for. And this is that big, huge driveway I was telling you about. It goes down to the main area of the base. Maybe they move things up and down. Note the steepness that surrounds this base. This isn't a base, it's a fort. And this is looking down off of the edge. I would say this is a pretty secure location. Those little corridors right there seem to pass to that other area when we were on the lower plateau. And there are some natives. Interesting. Another little hidden pathway of some sort. Right down inside there. Which comes up here. Comes right out to the level. Interesting.
Probably everything is malaria, the disease that wipes everybody out. not like anybody's going to really sneak up on you unless they want to, hug the coastline for miles and miles.
Yeah, where you got this area over here? That's what the moat's for, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, so far away.
And this is the courtyard. Concludes our trip to Fort San Lorenzo.